Hello, this is part 2 of the first day. I found some other things to talk about that I didn't include, and I've written a list which may help me to go through the things. So the first thing then, so what are the effects of drinking the green drink? Well, you feel, if you can do this yourself, you don't need to be on the diet. If you were just to make up a green drink yourself, you can experience this yourself without, having to spend weeks on the diet. So you feel a little bit lightheaded, and also you feel more awake. That's the other thing you experience, and I'm talking about this here. You feel more awake. It kind of gives you a, also it kind of gives you a happy feeling as well, which is pretty much the contrast. If you eat something acid, you feel content and relaxed, maybe. This is the opposite. It's almost like, I think sometimes food can be used to make you feel, to numb yourself, so you don't have to feel about to think about your problems, like a comfort. So this drink is the opposite of comfort. It makes you think, more, makes you more uncomfortable, feel more uncomfortable maybe. Yes, it's definitely at the opposite end of the spectrum. Now, going on to my next thing on the list that I've got here. So what I'm trying to do on the diet is I'm trying to get my pH in my body, my blood and my fluids, to be more alkaline. That's going to be the idea. The logic behind it is that if my body is alkaline, then my cells won't die, and then I'll be able to live forever. I mean, okay, so that's the best scenario. And if you want to know more about that, then you can read Dr. Robert O. Young's book, The pH Miracle. Although he doesn't actually say that to a greater degree. I'm not sure he really says that in his book, but he does say, if you look at some of his lectures and things, you can, and also other sources, you can find out about this, how cells react in high pH environments. I think they kept a heart alive for 20 years or something, just by making sure the fluids were alkaline and giving it nutrients, that sort of thing. So so that's really the basis, the principle of it, that cells don't need to die. So you're trying to increase the pH of your body. So at the moment on the acid diet, my pH is, specifically in the mornings, it's the worst. Mine's about 5, maybe less, sometimes 4. So it's very acid, which is, in a sense, is a good thing, because it means my body, my organs, are actually filtering out the acid and getting rid of it. And remember, a pH of 4 is 100 times more acid than a pH of 5, and 1,000 times more acid than a pH of 6. So you got to look at it in its proportion. So yeah, so I'm really acid, and also because I've been on the alkaline diet before, I know what foods are acid, and I've got kind of an awareness of the acid effects. The more acid the food is, and its effects. And I've come to the conclusion that the more acid the food is, the more enjoyable the food is, which is, you know, pretty obvious. You can see that, like chocolate, Coca-Cola, you know, that sort of thing. The more, so it's kind of, I mean, you can kind of maybe put a theory on it, add a theory. I think Dr. Robert Young hasn't really talked about this really, but I think you can see that there is a relationship between acid and how it affects the body. You know, it maybe stimulates it or reacts with chemicals in the body to create pleasure, like sugar. You know, sugar is an acid. It dissolves your teeth. So these have an effect. The acid has an effect, and it's. I mean, I know that there are some drugs that are alkaline, aren't they? But as far as food's concerned, I would say that the more alkaline a food is, the more you don't really want to eat it. You know, it's and the more acid a food is, the better you like it. Yeah, so really there are two spectrums. There are two, you know, they're the opposite ends of the spectrum. So in a sense, you could say that acid was death, sleepless, making you want to sleep, and suppressing you and stopping you from thinking. You know, like alcohol. You know, that's an acid. You know, how the effects of alcohol. So on one side, the acid side wants to kill you, because obviously when you die, your body turns to acid. So, and the more acid you are, the less you move, and the more you ache and everything else. And the more alkaline you are, the more alive you are. And the more alive you are, the more you feel pain, and you have to deal with life. So really, that's how I've interpreted it anyway, from my own perspective. And Robert Young has touched on this, probably, you know, has done. Although it's kind of more, maybe it's more controversial to say what I just said. Anyway, so my pH is about 4 or 5 in the morning. So my idea is that by alkalizing, by drinking this drink, I will eventually become more alkaline, and my aches will go. And well, the effects that Robert Young mentions are things like you only need 4 to 6 hours sleep. And you know, I've experienced this. I've done the alkaline diet before, and yes, you don't actually need the sleep. It's almost like your body feels like it's not working so hard. It doesn't need to work so hard to you know, alkalise your body. You know, which is what it's doing all the time at the moment. It's struggling to make sure your body doesn't become so acid that it gets taken over by things that turn you into a corpse. And that's what Robert Young says. You know, it says that you're dying before you die. you know, you're actually decomposing before you actually die. Which, you know, makes sense. You can understand that. You know, if you're eating a lot of acid foods, you leave some acid food out in your kitchen for a few hours, you know, and it starts to, you know, putrefy, and that's what's happening inside your body when you eat it. More quickly probably, because you've got bacteria in there, haven't you? So anyway, so the idea is to alkaline the body, and that's what I'll be doing over the next, you know, well, for the rest of my life, let's hope. But the effects of the addiction on the acid food is considerable, absolutely considerable. The cravings are horrendous, and you really are. Well, I feel that you're isolating yourself from the rest of the world, even your thoughts. I mean, at the moment, I'm pretty much can talk to you like on the same level, but when I'm on the diet, I've noticed that my mind is just running so quickly that you know, it's hard to relate. I noticed that with talking to vegans a lot. You know, they're on a different planet. So yeah, so that's another thing. You know, you're giving up. You may be giving up even friendships. You know, giving up your whole lifestyle that relied on pleasure for an idea of something pure, you know, a bit like Buddhist meditation. The Buddhists say meditate, don't they, so that they get their pleasure from that rather than entertainment. You know, I mean, I'm just saying. So anyway, so we're going to see how it goes over the few months, and yeah, just some more thoughts on the previous video, and I will speak to you tomorrow. Thank you.